We'll turn it over to the Mayor of St. Paul, Mayor Melvin Carter.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Melvin Carter, the Mayor of the City of St. Paul. As Mayor Fry just said, we are hearing credible information around a convergence of federal law enforcement officials, federal agents coming into our community with the intentionality around targeting our Somali community. Just earlier today, we saw, sadly, the President of the United States open his mouth to take a whole group of people, a whole country of people, and denigrate just based on where they come from. And somehow we found ourselves to a place where that doesn't surprise any of us. But when the mayor said the word un-American, it rang true to me. I grew up celebrating in America and learning about an America who prided ourselves on being a beacon that drew people from other places. I grew up in an America that prided itself on being a country of immigrants, that prided itself on the fact that people from other countries would look across a whole ocean and say, that's where I want to be. It seems that what we learned was that we've prided ourselves, and we have decades and generations of priding ourselves on being a beacon for immigration from Europe. I mean, it seems to many of us like the darker skinned the immigrants who come to our country are, the more our posture on immigration as a country has shifted. That's un-American. That's concerning. And I get particularly concerned as someone who, we work all day, every day on public safety and keeping our communities safe. And all of you have heard me brag about the public safety outcomes that we're achieving and that we're really proud of. And we've understood and embraced an approach to public safety that isn't about pitting our officers or law enforcement against community members, but it's figuring out how to get our officers and our community members working together on the same side of the table as much as humanly possible. And so when the last thing that we need is federal agents coming here, pretending that we should be afraid of somebody just based on the color of their skin, just based on what they look like, just based on what country their ancestors claim as honor as a motherland. The last thing that we need is federal agents coming to town attempting to turn us against each other, to turn us against ourselves. The last thing we need is federal agents coming in town to create chaos and challenge for us. And so we stand together. Both of our cities have stood up immigrant and refugee services supports. In St. Paul, it's our Office of Immigrant and Refugee Services in our city attorney's office. We encourage folks to look to those websites. We encourage folks to look to the organizations that serve immigrants and refugees across our community, because we have constant reminders out there about what your rights are. You have rights. That's an American thing. You have rights. We all have rights. And so we'll be sharing on social media today some of those, what those resources are that people need to look to. We'll be working with our police department to ensure our capability of facilitating peaceful protests, as I imagine we'll see some people who will want to stand up and say that we disagree with this federal targeting. And just like Mayor Fry just said, we in St. Paul celebrate our large Somali community. We celebrate the contributions that our community has made in every aspect, whether that's education, whether that's public service, whether that's public safety, whether that's our economics and local jobs. We celebrate that. Our community would not be the same without it. And so we continue to stand with the members of our Somali community. We continue to stand across municipal boundaries and across communities to say that the Twin Cities is not a place that tolerates or embraces hate. To say that the hateful and damaging rhetoric that we're hearing from Washington, D.C. right now is reprehensible. And it is not something that represents who our community is or who our country can be. And we call on ourselves. I call on myself in the face of hatred, in the face of division, in the face of what seems to be a strategy centered around intentional chaos, to lead with listening, to lead with compassion, to engage with humanity, and to ensure that we are every single day modeling the type of behavior, the type of approach, and the type of humanity that we sure wish our federal our federal representatives in Washington, D.C. Would follow suit. We have the capacity as a local community to be that loving, incredible place. That's who we are. That's what we are. And that's certainly something that we don't need federal agents coming and disturbing. Thank you all for being here.